In this week's episode of The Enthusiast is back, and our original Phantom sketch signed by Lee Falk hits the auctions, so get ready for that, and so much more in this week's latest episode. And in the quickfire news this week, few publications have released the Phantom issue number 1979, the seventh icon. And I have already read it. I'm that quick at reading, you just don't know until you expect it. But this is the comic book that has recently came out in Australia by a few publications. It is a very, very beautiful cover done by a very new Phantom artist that we don't know too much about, but I will find out very shortly who it actually is. So the front cover art has been done by Tadam Gurez. Also, what has come out in the last couple of weeks has been the giant size Phantom number 30 has come out, and it has a very, very beautiful cover done by a very, very new cover artist who has just came on board. No, he just hasn't. He's not new. He's an old-fashioned and very, very good cover artist. The cover for this comic book has been supplied by Jeremy McPherson, and that just looks very, very cool, very, very breathtaking. And now we're also going to have a look at the back cover because it's Calling All Heroes, yours truly, and it's supplied by Shane Foley. Really, really great stuff. On the 26th of September in issue number 1980, and that will be 20 more issues until issue 2000. And that is going to be an absolute party. That is going to be an absolute celebration for the ages. But before that, we have issue number 1980, as I just said, The Mystery of Marley Bex and Operation Domino Part 4 is coming out on the 26th of September. And coming up on this week's show, in the publisher's news, Phantom Man numbers 18 and 19 is out right now, and your local drinks break is brought to you by Sweeps. Sweeping floors since 1783, and that's definitely not what it means. And they still taste very, very good. And also coming up on the show, we have ERC Verlag. New German Phantom comics are coming out soon. We have a preview of upcoming Shakti comic covers. Auction City segment is back for viewers who have already seen it. There will be a original Phantom sketch signed by Lee Falk. It's hitting the auctions. It's already hit the auctions, and we're going to be talking about that later on in the show. And we've also got a new discussion topic. It is called The Phantom's Costumes Being Changed. This week in the publisher's news, Phantom Man numbers 18 and 19 has come out in the last week or so, and the cover art will be up on the screen right now, and it just has to be a great cover. It's a great, exciting cover by Janet Auden. In other news, the new German Phantom publisher ERC Verlag has released what the covers of the Phantom will look like, and my first thought, it's up on your screen right now, but my first thought is, am I looking at AI, or is it human-made? There's a discussion with these covers that are coming out by this publisher, and many people think that they're AI made, that AI generated Phantom artwork covers, or whatever you want to call it. But we haven't received any mention that there is a cover artist, there's an artist involved in making these covers. We haven't seen mention that it's AI art, and I'm not saying or mentioning or referencing that it is AI art, but it's very suspicious what Phantom fans are looking at and even thinking, is this AI art or is it not? Or is it human made? In other news, a preview of Shakti Comics' new covers for the Phantom and Mandrake the Magician series has been shown to fans on Facebook. The one thing that fans will already be thinking of, will this new set come out on time and when it's supposed to come out? Because if you haven't been following the comics that have been coming out by Shakti Comics, if you haven't been keeping up to date with their sets and their previous sets and their upcoming sets that will be coming out very, very soon, we're all hoping that their sets from this point on come out on time, because the rest and the previous sets before that haven't came out on time. And sometimes, and even this year, the last set to get to a Phantom fan took 6 months. 6 months to receive a Phantom comic from when it was initially said, oh yeah, we're going to be making a Phantom comic, to when it was released and sent to Phantom fans and their viewers and their buyers and their purchasers. I'm hoping that Shakti Comics have resolved all of their printing issues and all of that for upcoming sets, but it's yet to be seen if we're actually going to receive these comics on time. I'm hoping it happens and we're able to receive these Phantom comics and these Mandrake the Magician comics and Flash Gordon sets on time. You can now watch my show, The Enthusiast, now on Anchor and Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast is on there. The Enthusiast is on every podcast platforms, and I've done it, and it's so awesome. The Enthusiast, where the passion for the Phantom doesn't waver. New episodes weekly on Tuesdays, and I will also be putting a link to the podcast in the description down below. Auction City, where the auction city never stops and it never ceases to believe that it's going to go asleep. I'm terrible singer, but anyways, original Phantom sketch signed by Lee Falk has gone to auction in the past week over at Hake's Auctions in the past week, have had a pretty cool item up on their website. This very item that I will be showing up on the screen right now was our original Phantom sketch. But what makes it so special is it has been signed by Lee Falk in 1993, because it has his signature and then it has the year, and it's so exciting because sometimes you don't see these items come up that very often. And this piece was in the Ed Rhodes collection, original collection. And it also came with a handwritten note as well. What a piece of history. What a piece of history this is. But there is one thing that I would like to say. That is if this piece is so special and it means something to the person who has bought it, I wonder if it means more to the person who has bought it, or if it means more to the person who got it made. Because you can go out and say, oh, I've bought this really, really great sketch and it's signed by Lee Falk, and it used to be in Ed Rhodes' collection, but now I have it, but it's not actually titled to you. I wonder if that's came into the factoring of what the price ended up going for. Anyways, the price of the auction ended up going for $942.35. Now that's a lot. That's a lot of money for original Phantom sketch, which also includes a handwritten note by Lee Falk and signed by Lee Falk as well. And you can now get 14% off on all things Hermes Bros with the code Enthusiast 2022, all in one word, whether you're looking for something new to read on a hard afternoon after a hard day's work. There's always something that you can find at Hermes Bros' newest discussion for this week. The Phantom's costumes being changed. So a few years ago, Phantom fans saw a massive change starting to happen with a shift that would leave many of the older generation of fans asking, why did it have to change? Why did they change the costumes of the Phantom? The changing of the costumes was very controversial and it still angers many fans around the world. At the time, I didn't really see a point in changing the costumes because it hadn't been changed for over 80 years. And then a couple of years ago, they end up changing the look of the previous Phantom costumes. Now, we've got a new Sunday story starting this week. And one of the previous Phantom's costumes that was changed a few years ago appears in this new Sunday story. So that's where I'm getting at all of this. And then all of a sudden, as I said, they created a story to change, and that change was the costumes of the past Phantoms. Even now, it still doesn't sit well with many fans, and understandable. It's understandable that many Phantom fans for that older generation that grew up on the Cy Barry type of Phantom, he was the same Phantom for 80 odd years, and then they go on out and they change it. They change it because there's a new story out and it has to require some sort of change. But I do not see why they had to make the change in the first place, unless it was to make it more popular with the current market and the more popular with trying to get the Phantom into more of a TV type show or more of a movie type show, but I still don't understand why they changed it. And another thing I have also noticed is the length of weeks it has to take to see what might happen. And sometimes it can be very frustrating. You're reading the current daily or Sunday, and after that week, you are no closer than being 2 down with 4 to play in golfing terms. You're no closer to finding out what actually or will actually happen. And then a couple more weeks go by, and you still don't know what's going on, and it still hasn't progressed. If you read a Lee Falk story from, say, 1980s, from the 1980s or the 1960s, or whenever it was, it did not take that long to finish a story. It did not take that long for a daily to wrap up. It did not take that long for a Sunday story to be wrapped up. But nowadays, it takes longer, and a person gets frustrated more easily. And if you enjoyed Phantom Cave Reviews, what would you like to see on the 7th season of The Enthusiast? And as always, keep Phantom Caving, stay safe, and you'll see me next time on another episode of The Enthusiast. Bye!